Welcome into A Toast to Film. I'm your host, Ebo, and this week's bonus, we got a review of a new theatrical release, Materialists, as well as Mr. Snail's Pick of the Week, which was Electric Dreams this week. Stay tuned for that. We appreciate y'all listening, watching, whatever you're doing. Keep it up. And this week, we have an interesting one. This week we're toasting for Materialists. Dakota Johnson's character Lucy has a very specific go-to order of a beer and a Coca-Cola. So this week I got a beer and a Coca-Cola. So that is what we're toasting with this week. A beer and a Coke. Nothing wrong with that when it's done responsibly. So let's go ahead and get into Materialists. So this is from writer director Celine Song, who is the writer director of Past Lives. Nice little drama. And it stars Dakota Johnson as Lucy. And Lucy is a matchmaker for this matchmaking service, Adore. And she, it's a very prestigious company, very high-end clientele. They're trying to find good matches. And the movie starts, she has her 9th couple she's put together who are getting married. And we also have some drama because Lucy is stuck choosing between the man she formerly was with, the man she loves, Chris Evans, who plays John, and the rich, sophisticated, kind man, Pedro Pascal, who plays Harry. And also, shout out to Marin Ireland, who plays her boss, Victoria. We love Marilyn Island here at A Toast to Film. She was great in The Dark and the Wicked. Fantastic actress. So this movie, it's from A24, and that shows that it's from A24 because the movie opens with like this cave person opening, and these old ladies in the front row, when they're watching it, were like, "Oh, what is this? This is weird." So thought that was funny. And then we get introduced to Sophie. Let me tell y'all, Sophie kind of sucks, but Sophie be catching some real bad strays and some real bad things happen to Sophie. So it's like I feel bad for her, but also Sophie, not the best, but she don't deserve what happened to her. No spoilers, but Sophie gets it what no one should get. This movie, my issue with it is I love rom-coms. Chick flicks, rom-coms, whatever you want to call them. I love them. But I like when they're happy because, I don't need something shoving the negativity of the real world, which is this. It's very, ugly people, ugly movie, very narcissistic people. And I don't know. It just was kind of bad because it shows like how everyone's so like egotistical and ugly when they're looking for different things in a partner. They want them to be this tall, this much weight, this ethnicity, this amount of rich, all this stuff. And it just really puts a negative spin on relationships, which that's definitely true. But at the same time, like if I watch something, I want something like The Choice. I want something like The Longest Ride, something like Sweet Home Alabama, something like, one of our favorites, Crazy Rich Asians. I want something that gives me this like happiness, which I just don't feel you get with this. It's very downer. Like I said, to me, a very ugly movie. It wasn't for me. I know that. So don't let my rating be the, oh my God, be all end all. However, I would rate it somewhere in the 1 to 1.5 range out of 5 cheers. I just didn't care for it. I don't want to watch it again. And yeah, just not for me, folks. But I will say one thing I appreciate, they tie back in the cave people in the movie. So I appreciate that. All right, so next up, we got from 1984. This was Mr. Snail's Pick of the Week, which was Electric Dreams. This is from director Steve Barron, who directed the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie, Love. He directed Coneheads, Love. This did not love. No big deal. Lenny Von Dolan as Miles, Virginia Madison as his next door neighbor, Madeline. And basically, Miles builds this computer, and the computer names itself Edgar. It gets self-sentience. It's voiced by Bud Cort. This movie, it's one of these things. It would probably be on TV in the 1980s, and you'd watch it, and you'd be like, "Yeah, it's a movie." I don't think, with all the years that passed, this is anything to write home to, especially when you look at he did Ninja Turtles and Coneheads. It's fine. The it's a very 1980s movie in its simplicity, and I didn't mind watching it, but I definitely don't need to see it anytime soon. So Electric Dreams, I'll give a 2 out of 5 cheers, just because there were some bits with Edgar Computer that I liked, but nothing to write home about. But what we do need to write home about is Mr. Snail's Pick of the Week. So for those who have never been here, Mr. Snail's Pick of the Week, every other week, so every 2 weeks, we do a choice for Mr. Snail. We had Mr. Snail. He was taken by my cat. I don't know what happened to Mr. Snail, but he left his shell, which is a D20, and we have 20 films, and we roll it, and whatever it is, that's what we do. No re-rolls in this. So this week's picks are Ebo's Double Feature, Ebo's Pick, Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, Popeye the Sailor Man, Grandma's Boy, Havoc, Idiocracy, Dead Ringers, a Animal Farm Double Feature, Murder Party, Intruder, Thunderpants, Return to Oz, Kneecap, Tourist Trap, Chompy and the Girls, Becoming Led Zeppelin, Kinda Pregnant, There's Nothing Out There, and a random double feature. So, we have the D20. I made sure to bring back the dice tray for this one, and we got a 6. Sorry, I had to see which side the line was on. So 6 is Havoc. So this was a Netflix choice. This has Tom Hardy on it. I know nothing about the movie except it's on Netflix as Tom Hardy. So not next week, but the following week, come back, stay with us, and see about Havoc with Tom Hardy. But that's it, guys. Like I said, this was a bonus, so I want to keep things short and sweet, just like me. And if you want to let us know what you think about Materialists or Electric Dreams, or you want me to add something to Mr. Snail's Pick of the Week, I'm always looking for suggestions. There's so many ways you can do it. Let me tell you the best ways. Check us out on Instagram and TikTok, A Toast to Film, all one word. Check us out on Twitter at film_toast, or check us out on YouTube. You can see my shirt I always like to adorn when I got nothing else to wear. And you can like, you can subscribe, you can comment. I love comments, love responding. But whatever you do, we appreciate y'all. And we just hope you have a good night and good viewing.